Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're getting ready to tackle Essay 2, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to walk through a super clear, step-by-step guide to make sure you absolutely nail this assignment. So, let's just dive right in. Okay, first things first. Let's get right to the biggest, most important question we need to answer. Is this an argument paper, or is it something else entirely? Seriously, getting this right from the very beginning is the key to everything else. And here it is, the big reveal. Loud and clear. This essay is all about context, not conflict. Your job is not to pick a side and argue. Nope. Your job is to be the expert guide who explains the entire world surrounding the controversy. Honestly, if you only remember one thing, make it this.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the main goal of the paper. Then we'll hit the technical stuff, the numbers. After that, we'll map out the structure, learn a really cool tool for body paragraphs, see how it all connects to your grade, and then wrap up with a final checklist. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, Section 1, the goal. Before you write a single word, you have to understand the why behind this paper. Trust me, it's not just about what you're writing, it's about why you're writing it this way. What you're writing here is what we call an informational research paper. And I want you to look at that one key word, explore. Your mission is to explore all the stuff that shaped this issue, the history, the culture, all of it. Think of yourself less like a lawyer arguing a case and more like a detective or a journalist laying out the entire backstory. You're painting the big picture.
So, just to make this crystal clear, this paper is an investigation into the background and the history. It is absolutely not a place for your personal opinion or for you to argue one side is right. You can save all that persuasive energy for another time. For Essay 2, you are the neutral, all-knowing guide.
Okay, now that we've got the why down, let's get into the what. This is the quick and dirty technical checklist, your by-the-numbers guide to make sure you're hitting all the basic requirements.
First up, word count. You're shooting for at least 1,000 words. And that's not just a random number. It gives you the room you really need to do a deep, thorough dive into the context. Next, you need to bring in 4 new, credible sources. And remember, new means sources you did not use in your last essay, so you're going to need to do some fresh research. Think academic journals, major news outlets, expert reports, the good stuff. You're also going to include 2 rhetorical images. One needs to appeal to logos, which is all about logic, so think charts, graphs, data, that kind of thing. The other has to appeal to pathos, which is about emotion, like a really powerful photograph. These are awesome tools to help tell your story. And last but not least, formatting. We're using MLA style all the way. That means double spacing, 1-inch margins, page numbers, and the proper header. This isn't just about following rules. It's about presenting your work in a clean, professional, academic way. It just makes it easier for your reader to focus on your great ideas.
Okay, moving right along to Section 3, structuring your paper. Let's look at the actual blueprint for how to put all these pieces together into an essay that flows really, really well.
You know, every solid piece of writing is built on a simple, strong foundation. You need a great intro, really well-supported body paragraphs, and a conclusion that wraps it all up nicely. So let's break down each of these parts.
Your intro has a few very specific jobs to do. First, hook your reader. Then, explain why it's so important to understand the background of this issue. Briefly, tell us what points you're going to cover. And then, and this is the most critical part, your thesis statement must be about the importance of understanding the context. It is not an argument about the issue itself. I can't stress that enough.
All right, now we're getting to the real heart of your paper, the body paragraphs. And I've got a fantastic little framework to help you build paragraphs that are strong, focused, and super effective. We call it CLEAR.
So here's a look at the CLEAR method. You can think of this as your recipe for a perfect paragraph every single time. If you follow this structure, you're pretty much guaranteed to make a clear point, back it up with solid evidence, and explain why it all matters.
Let's break it down real quick. C is for claim. That's your topic sentence. L is the lead-in, where you expand on that idea a bit. E is your evidence. This is where you bring in your research, the facts, the quotes. A is for analysis. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is you explaining why the evidence is so important. And finally, R is for restate. You just wrap up the point and tie it back to your main thesis. Easy, right?
And remember, whenever you use that E for evidence from your research, you absolutely have to cite it correctly in MLA style. It's a two-part system. You've got the short in-text citation right there in the paragraph, and then the full citation on your works cited page at the very end. This is so important for giving credit and showing the strength of your research.
Okay, Section 5. This is where we connect all the dots. Let's talk about how you'll be graded, because honestly, understanding the rubric is like getting the answers to the test before you take it.
That rubric you see in iCollege, it's not some secret document. It's your roadmap. Everything we've talked about so far lines up perfectly with what graders are looking for to give out those top scores.
Just look at this. We're drawing a straight line from what you do to how you get a top grade. When you write a killer thesis about the importance of context, the rubric calls that compelling and complex. When you provide those rich, specific background details, that's what thorough development looks like. And when you absolutely crush the analysis part of CLEAR, the rubric calls that skillfully and insightfully explaining the significance. See? You're literally following the recipe for an exceeds expectations paper.
All right, we are in the home stretch now. Before you even think about hitting that submit button, let's run through one last, super fast checklist to make sure all your hard work is about to pay off.
Just ask yourself these 5 simple questions. 1. Is my thesis really about the importance of context? Check. 2. Do I have at least 4 new solid sources? Check. 3. Does my analysis, that A and CLEAR, really connect the dots? Check. 4. Are all my citations in perfect MLA format? And 5. Did I hit that 1,000-word mark? If you can say yes to all of those, you are good to go.
And that brings us to our final thought. This question, right here, is the entire point of this assignment. After all the research, all the writing, ask yourself, now that I know the full story, the whole context, how has my own understanding of this conflict actually changed? Because that shift in your perspective, that's the real win. Good luck.